Hello, Aries. Your weekly love tarot reading begins with temperance energy. You see your partner as, or your person as a Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and then possible outcome is Three of Wands. Your person is coming into this connection with a Nine of Wands. Full energy is how they see you. Their relationship to you or their role in the relationship they see as a Page of Wands, and they have Hermit energy as a possible outcome or actions that they're going to take. At the bottom of the deck, you have a Three of Pentacles. So threes are factoring in here, right? Let's move these over here. Three being the number of the Holy Trinity, right? Mind, body, and soul. The next stage, moving on from that forward action of the two. Now with the three, we begin to incorporate other things into our vision. So we're going to come back to that Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Aries, let's get right into your reading. You come in as temperance energy, and your person is coming in with Eight of Wands. So temperance energy is the tarot card for your sister sign Sagittarius. And it's all about moderation, right? Temperance is the moderation, the middle path, the cooking, the recipe, right? That you use when you're trying to create something. Not, Eight of Wands is how your person comes in. So while you are busy over this next period, really putting all your effort and I want to say your sensitivity into something that you're trying to create. Temperance is also a high card for creativity. Your person in this connection is dealing with a lot of energy coming in. Eight of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius, they're dealing with a lot of communication, a lot of energy coming in. There may be a lot of people who want their time, right? There may be a lot of activity around them, and it's just taking sort of a toll on their energy levels, right? And not so much even physical, but just like draining. There's a draining feeling here for your person. Could very well connect to that Three of Pentacles there, where there's a lot of work, doing a lot of cooperative work, working with a lot of people in groups or in projects. But let's go further. These are just the initial energies that you and your person are coming into the week with, or into this period with. So let's see what's going on for that temperance. Ten of Wands. Wow, and Queen of Wands. All right, Aries. So for you, it's been a really difficult path, right? It's been a difficult path. You've been trying to get ahead, trying to get ahead, trying to get ahead. You're doing everything you can with that temperance. You're trying a little bit of this and a little bit of that and this way and that way. There's a breakthrough coming, though. Your person, Emperor energy, and Knight of Cups. So your person is the one who's coming into you, Aries. They have Emperor and Knight of Cups. So you're dealing with somebody who's very, very sure of themselves, dominant. Of course, this is your power card, Aries, right? Even though it's coming out for the person that you're connected to, this is your tarot card. So you're very simpatico souls, right? You have a very similar energy. But nevertheless, that's just your sun sign, right? And your person is still coming in very dominant, very sure of themselves, very confident, right? They want to sort of have a new territory. They want to have something new with you, right? Emperor is all about conquering new territory. So this person is absolutely wanting to investigate and have more of you. They're coming in with that Knight of Cups. And still, I feel like you, Aries, are just really tired in and of yourself. Apart from this individual, you yourself, Aries, have just like you're just at the kind of the end of your rope, right? You're really tired. Like I said, you've been trying to achieve something. This may have something to do with work or what have you, a project or something that you feel really strongly about. And it's kind of distracting you almost, it feels like to me, from any kind of love connection at all in your life. How do you both see each other? Well, you see them as a Queen of Pentacles, and they see you as full energy. So you're all over the place, right? I mean, your person sees that, they see you as a fool. And that's not to say as a fool, but as full energy in the tarot, that's the young. That's the person who's young, vivacious, maybe a little bit naive, but also a bit fearless and willing to try, willing to go for something, right? A zest for life, right? And this is how you're coming across to your person. Now, that may indeed be the case, but I'm not entirely sure that they know how much struggling you've been having. You seeing them as a Queen of Pentacles, again, Queen of Pentacles, Emperor energy, very different, but also embodying that kind of experience and success, that feeling of success and knowing what you're doing. It could be, Aries, that this individual here in this connection with you is a little bit older, maybe a little bit more experienced. Let's get some clarity. So, first of all, I want to see what's going on with this Fool energy. Why does your person see you as Fool energy? King of Swords and Ten of Swords. Interesting. Yeah, your person is coming in with a lot of, so far, the Emperor and the King, right? You see them as a queen. So the person that you're dealing with is someone who's a very sort of, I'm going to say established, right? They're definitely used to being like an alpha type of personality, very fiery in all areas of their life. And so, again, I think they're looking at you through this lens of who they are. And they're someone who's, quite regimented here with this King of Swords. They have a real set outlook, a set of rules that they live by, all of that. There is a Ten of Swords there. So it does feel like there's a closure to a particular area. Could very well be a closure in their life as well. Ten of Swords here and Ten of Wands there. Both of you are kind of going through an ending to something, or as I say, a closure to something. You're coming in with High Priestess and the Sun. So you see your person as a Queen of Pentacles. Let's bring this up so you can see it. As a Queen of Pentacles, as I said, someone who's very successful, earthy, of course, but also Queen of Pentacles is a real survivor, right? She comes from nothing. She's the queen that really sort of scratched and crawled and worked and bled and sweated her way into this garden of her own making, right? So not only do I feel here, Aries, like you're dealing with somebody who might be a little bit older or more experienced, maybe even a bit more mature emotionally than you, you're also dealing with somebody that I feel like you have a lot of respect for, because there's someone who's really succeeded, and they've succeeded in ways that they may have had the deck stacked against them, but they made it anyway. They came from nothing. There's a certain amount of respect and sort of like a feeling of inspiration that you have here with this individual. High Priestess and Sun energy comes in for you. So there's a lot of clarity coming in. Right now, also in this connection, I'm going to say, Aries, there's a lot of serendipity, with that High Priestess and the Sun coming in. It feels like there's a lot of, when I say serendipity, there's a lot of instances here with this person where it's like, well, that's a coincidence, or that's a coincidence, or, you say the same things, you end up in the same places. There are these little sort of things that are happening in the interactions with this person, Aries, with your person, that is setting off your intuitive alarm bells. It's like it's starting to become like, okay, this is weird. Like, why do we keep having these kind of coincidental happy moments, right? And you're getting a lot of clarity through that. A lot of clarity. So this feels like a new connection, Aries. It feels like a budding connection. It feels like a connection that hasn't quite happened yet, also. So this is you and another person kind of dancing around each other a little bit. I don't think you guys are together yet. I don't think you've made that promise or that union yet, right? I don't think you've had that conversation. This is like very early days, getting to know each other. Let's go further. Getting to know each other and like just starting to fall for each other in different ways. You know, like your person sees you as someone who's very young and vivacious and spontaneous, and they love that. And you're seeing them as somebody who's very, grounded and hardworking and focused, and you love that, right? So, how do you both see the relationship, or at least or perhaps even just your partner relationship? For you, it's a Knight of Cups, and for them, it's a Page of Wands. So more court card energy here. Yeah, for you, it feels, Aries, like you're the one who's going to have to make the move, right? You see that, and you know that. Even though they see you as very young, again, this full energy, I really do feel, Aries, speaks to like an age gap, right? Um, but in any case, you're the one who's kind of realizing what's going on here and realizing that you're gonna have to make the move. You're the one who's resonating with that high priestess and picking up on everything. Your person is like a little too grounded in a way, or like a little bit too regimented and sensible in a way, right? Again, it speaks to them being a bit older, like they've been around the block a few more times, and so they do come off a little bit square, maybe, or not square, because they have that Page of Wands, which is fearless and on fire and unique and creative, but they do come off as being a bit more responsible or reserved, not as willing to just take a leap of faith here and there. Let's get that Knight of Cups. Magician energy comes in for you, and King of Wands. Damn. So now we have 1, 2, 3 kings, I think. Do we have 3 kings yet? Almost. 2 kings and an emperor. A lot of fire. Kings are fire in tarot. So a lot of fire here. As soon as you kind of realize that, you want this person and you want to make a move, it's like all of this fire comes in, and capability and ability and talent, right? It's like you eventually finally make a decision that, yep, I'm going to have to be the Knight of Cups here. I'm going to have to make the move. I'm going to have to let them know, let's take this to the next level, or let's talk about it. Let's be, you know what I mean? King of Wands, again, more king energy, very determined. In this case, or in this part of the reading, the king is resonating with you. You're the one resonating with that King of Wands energy, that determined, dominant masculine energy of going after what you want. You have Queen of Wands here, so it's like you're embodying that energy to go after your partner. How does your Page of Wands, Page of Swords, and an 8 of Cups? Wow. Okay, so Page of Swords and 8 of Cups here, because, listen, the 8 of Cups is a leaving, a walking away, a splitting, a turning your back on something, but this connection hasn't even really gotten off the ground. So I think that you're dealing with somebody who has something else going on. They're connected to somebody else in some kind of way. And I think that information is going to come into you. Page of Swords talks about communication, letters, texts, information, phone calls, having the confidence to talk about certain things, right? Coming in. Yeah, so there's going to be a certain conversation that comes in, Aries, I think, where you kind of find out that, or how should I put it? It isn't that so much that you find something out, because again, this doesn't feel like you two are together. So there's no like issues with, commitment or cheating or anything like that. But I think you become aware of the fact that your person is still emotionally entangled somewhere, even if they may not be with that person anymore. There may be an on again, off again situation with them. They're just not completely disentangled, You know, this person that is in their life may have walked away, or they may have walked away, whatever, but they're still kind of looking in that cup to see, is there still something there? So they're not completely 100% free and clear. How do you guys possibly come out? Three of Wands for you and Hermit for them. Yeah, they may need some alone time for a little while, right? Especially if they're not completely disentangled here, they may indeed need some alone time, some hermit time to sort of get their head together. Um, Again, this is very early stages of a particular connection that you have with somebody, and this is like the very beginning stages, the early days where you guys, I think you both know you kind of like each other, or there's some flirtation there, but that's kind of as far as it's gotten. Although over this next month, though, I feel like it gets deeper. So let's begin to pull some of your zodiac runes to see what zodiac signs you might be dealing with. I'll move all this down a little bit and make space for those runes. The first one, some of you are dealing with a Taurus. Aries. You're dealing with the Taurus, or the person may have Taurus in their chart. Some of you are dealing with an Aquarius. One more. And some of you are dealing with a Scorpio. Damn, Aries. Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. The person you're dealing with may indeed have those energies in their chart. You may have those energies in your chart. Let's go ahead and pull out your oracles. So as far as you're concerned, that Three of Wands, you're ready to move forward on a plan. You're ready to move forward on your plan, I think, on multiple levels. You may have plans for yourself, right, as far as your ambition and your work, but you also have, I think by the time you get to this stage, you have definite plans for your person, right? You have plans for them, but you also want more information. You're ready for more information, more communication to come in. You're ready to know more about what's going on here. But you may find yourself having to wait because, again, Spirit of the Scales, Spirit of the Pentacle, and Spirit of the Cat, your person goes into hermit mode for a little while. And that may indeed be as a result of this disentangling that they're having here with some kind of connection in their life, right? So you have Spirit. Let's get these oracles up so you can see Spirit of the Scales, karma, justice, balance coming in. Spirit of the Pentacle. Here we talk about faith and unity, wholeness, a wholeness here. Your person needs a wholeness in their life. And so, yeah, that hermit is going to come in for them. Spirit of the Cat. Curious. Right now, the cat is really resonating heavy here. I think both of you are just very curious. Just curious. Very, very curious. But that curiosity does develop. It develops indeed. There aren't a lot of cup cards here apart from, you have a Knight of Cups here that came out twice. But apart from that walking away from your person, there aren't a whole lot of cups. And that just indicates that the relationship hasn't just yet been established per se. As I said, it's beginning days. Cheetah and Hawk. Wow. Well, there is no shortage of energy as far as moving forward with this. Cheetah energy is masculine solar energy. Cheetah is incredible to witness. People who resonate with Cheetah really accomplish incredible feats, really incredible accomplishments in their life. They're driven, they're focused, they're able to adjust their course if they have to, but they keep their eye on, their objective in a very dynamic way. The Hawk isn't that similar, but the Hawk is air energy, and the Hawk is all about seeing the bigger picture. So when we talk about air energy, animal spirits, that air being the mental plane, the suit of swords in tarot, we're talking about logic and rationale and clarity and understanding. And so the Hawk is the animal spirit for being able to see all the parts, all the aspects to a particular situation, or to see all the moving parts, right? and to understand the value of all the moving parts, because the hawk can see the whole picture. And so this insight is really, really important right now. Both very strong animal spirits for you to be resonating with. All right, Aries, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your weekly love tarot reading. I hope it did resonate for you. If it did, please go ahead, like, subscribe, share the content, all of that really helps me out, and it's free. And if you take the moment to do it, I thank you so much. But for right now, guys, I'm just gonna say I wish you and your cross watchers love, life, and happiness, and I hope to see you right back here on my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot, next week for your weekly love tarot reading. Bye bye, Aries.